Most people set goals by focusing on the final outcome, such as losing 10 kilograms, getting a job, running a marathon. But the biggest mindset shift you can make is focusing on the process rather than the final result. So the reason why this is so powerful is, for one, it stops you being overwhelmed, and it stops you being desperate to see change. If you're only focused on the end result, the small things are not going to make you feel good at all. You know, if your plan is to lose 10 kilograms and you lose half a kilogram, you're probably not going to feel that good because you still feel so far away from your goal. So the key is to break it down. And that's what I'm going to discuss later, about the steps that you can do to actually shift your mindset into doing this through smaller change rather than just focusing on one goal which is way too big and so far away from what you currently are at. So the second thing, it builds consistency. If you're focusing on the small things, focusing on the small habits that get you towards this goal, say you're trying to lose 10 kilograms so you run 10,000 steps per day. If you focus on those things, you're going to be like, okay, I've done a week of 10,000 steps per day, rather than, oh, I'm only 1 kilogram down. But you achieved that whole week of this one thing that you've done. And it could be 3 habits that you're doing every day. And that consistency just flows on to so many other parts of life, and you can achieve so many things through habits and consistency and discipline that way. So the other one, it boosts your motivation. If you can celebrate these small wins, I've done this for a week, I've done this for a couple of days, then you're going to stay motivated. You're going to just continue doing these actions that you're rewarding yourself from, and then the end result, it's guaranteed. It'll eventually happen. But you're focusing on the things that you've put in place every day or every week. It prevents you self-sabotaging. It prevents you being like, I've only done this much and I'm so far away from my goal. You're not going to feel like that, because you're going to be like, okay, maybe I missed one day, but tomorrow I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm going to lock back in. I'm going to do that 10,000 steps. It sounds so simple, right? But it's actually a misconception about goals. People are just like, I want to lose weight, or I want to get a job, or I want to get a promotion. And they don't think about the things that they need to put in place to actually achieve that. So how do you do this? You need to set a goal. You need to set a 90-day goal for the outcome that you want to get. So, let's use a different example. Let's use getting a job in 90 days, right? You don't have a job right now and you're trying to get a job in 90 days. So you need to think about, okay, what does this person need to be like to get this job in 90 days? And I'll use some examples. You need to be good at job interviews. You need to be confident that you can provide the value and the skills that the employer wants to give you the job. You need to understand how to get a job. You need to understand the process of not just applying to anything. You need to make sure your CV is good. You need to make sure you've said the right thing. You need to make sure that you've trained for questions, all of these things. But people are just like, oh, I've applied, I have this experience. They don't think about why they've not been accepted, or if they're doing everything possible that they can. And examples, you can reach directly out to people on job posts. You can reach out to recruiters. You can do so many things to elevate your chances of getting a job. But a lot of people are like, oh, it's hard. Oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, there's too much competition. You can't think about any of those things. You've got to think about, who do I need to be like, I can choose if I want this job or not. They're going to guarantee that they're going to offer it to me. And in 90 days, that's an easy feat, especially if you have a previous experience. That's an easy thing to do. You can probably do that in 30 days, but it was just an example. So that's the first thing. You need to set an outcome, and you need to set the 90-day goal or the 6-month goal, whatever. And you need to pull it back, think about all the things you need to do every day, every week, and just break it down into these small achievable things. You've done this week and you've achieved this, you've built some confidence this week, whatever you want. And that way, it's guaranteed that you're going to get the result in 90 days or 60 days or whatever amount. So use a planner, use a to-do list. You need to use some way to track like a calendar, to track what you're going to do every day to achieve it. You need to have habits and to-dos on this calendar that you achieve, like 5-minute to-dos, deep work to-dos, all of this stuff. So every day you can know exactly what you have to do, and you plan the day before, and you know exactly what you need to do the next day, and you just take those actions and it happens. I know it's hard to take action sometimes, especially if it's hard, but you break it down into small things that are achievable, and then every week you just think, okay, I'm just gonna review if I actually completed all of these actions. If you didn't, maybe make it easier or make it different, stuff like that. And yeah, celebrate your progress along the way. And sometimes it's hard to be disciplined. It's hard, even if you think, okay, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I need to do. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you need an outside perspective to be like, oh, well, you could do it this way and you could do these things, and this would be a lot more effective of getting you this. And a lot of things are mindset. Getting a job is mindset. It's mindset to get confidence, this mindset to do all of these things, to put in a lot of those things in place. So maybe your plan isn't solid to get to the goal. So yeah, if you do need any help with getting to, like, you have this idea in your head, you know, maybe you just want to start a new business, you want to get fit, you have this thing, but you don't exactly know how to keep yourself accountable every day and the exact actions you need to take to get to that stage, then I can definitely help you with that. Just book a call and chat with me for that. But yeah, of course, if you take this advice on board and you are able to plan something and you know this clear goal and you know exactly how to get it, just try this strategy, set a 3-month timeline, think about the person you need to be in that 90 days, within, like, at that 90-day time period, that person you need to be, and then pull it back and go weekly, monthly, daily actions you need to achieve. Just do those, celebrate them every week, and then at the 90-day you'll be like, oh damn, the time has already gone and I've achieved this automatically because I set exactly what I needed to do all throughout the process. So thanks for watching. If you get any sort of useful information from this content, feel free to subscribe, drop a comment, ask me any questions in the comments. I'm always reading them and replying as soon as I see them, so feel free to do that. And yeah, thanks for watching.